take a seat.
Thank you.
Mr. Atif Waquar Ekram Ansari.
Yes, sir.
Tell us something about yourself briefly.
Sir, I am Atif Waquar Ekram Ansari. I am from Jamshedpur, Jharkhand. I have done my graduation from VIT Sindri in civil engineering. Then after that, I am preparing for civil services examination. And right now, presently, I have been selected for rural development officer in Bihar.
To begin with, what's this post office mango?
Sir, it is the spelling is of mango, but it is pronounced as mango. Mango, Hindi, it is mango.
All right.
Sir. Yes, sir, mango.
So, you remember anything of your civil engineering?
Yes, sir, party guy mango.
What is M25 concrete means? What does it mean?
Sir, M25 is the grade of concrete according to IS code, in which we have a standard proportion of sand, cement, and aggregate. Sir, I don't know the exact proportion. I don't remember.
One is to two.
Yes, sir.
So, and what does 25?
I'm not sure about that.
There is something about M25. 20 also.
Yes.
You're not sure of that. Okay. You know what is the flexible pavement? What is the rigid pavement?
No, sir, I don't know.
Sorry, types of roads. Bitumen roads are called.
Okay.
What are they called? Bitumen roads and concrete roads.
Okay, sir.
So what will that be? Which will be flexible, which will be rigid?
Sir, if I would guess, I think bitumen would be flexible roads, and the roads which are made up of concrete would be the rigid one.
Now tell me, which are the areas where you cannot have bitumen roads? You got to have.
Sir, the major problem with bitumen road is the rainfall. It very much deteriorates quickly. So the areas where we have large scale flooding and rainfall, so that area we try to avoid bitumen road.
You know it.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now tell me, why curing is done when you're constructing a house?
Sir, when we mix the aggregates, sand and the gravels, so cement is the binding agent, and cement acts as a binding agent because of the chemical reaction which is initiated after adding water to it. So curing is very much necessary to create that reaction, and so that binding occurs in the aggregate.
Now tell me, role of governor is being talked about various states where there are two different governments, like which is different from the central government. There are some controversies regarding government. Say, for example, what happened in Punjab, in Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra. So do you think that now is time that we should have a relook at the role of governor and some amendment in the constitution is required?
Yes, sir. In the recent days and also in the past, we have seen there were many controversies regarding to the office of the governor. But seeing in the parliamentary setup, the importance of the office of the governor is very much important. But still, we see controversies regarding when they, as you said, that when there are different governments in the center and the state. So we have various recommendations of Sarkaria Commission and also of National Commission for the Working of the Constitution. They said that various recommendations, such as the governor should not be of any political tinge, and then the office of the governor should be limited only to the procedures where we have a constitutional conflict. So these are the recommendations, I think, and the very much important recommendation which was given by Sarkaria Commission also. They said that the office of the governor should be appointed with the consultation of chief minister of that state. So these
are all various commissions. Looking at the present problem, what are your suggestions? 1, 2, 3.
Sir, first of all, I would say that the office of the governor should be only limited to the conflicts which are of the constitutional nature. For example, in the Kerala, we have seen the issue of universities. In the second, I think, is the appointment process should be in consultation with the chief minister. Next, sir, I think the bills in the recent Supreme Court judgment, Supreme Court has said that there should be only limited scope of government intervention in the bills. So that should be codified through the Act of the Parliament. That would be a better step for reform of the office of the governor.
You mean to say there should be time limit?
Exactly, sir. Yes, sir.
Right, absolutely fine. Now, tell me, suppose that you are posted as a district magistrate in a district, okay, and there is a police encounter. Police encounter with two criminals have been killed because they tried to fire at the police party. So the police in retaliation they fired at the criminals and they died. Now you as a district magistrate, what will you do? There are two things earmarked which can be done by a magistrate only in case of police encounter. Are you aware of that?
Sir, as far as I can recall, the first thing I can do is impose, if there is a conflict in that region and the people have gathered there, I can impose Section 144 so that the things does not.
No.
Sir, I am not aware about the specific sections.
I am not asking the section. I am just asking what will you do as a team. The two things which are mandated for a magistrate to do.
Sir, if I would be in that situation, first of all, I would inquire about the issue that why encounter has happened, and then I would.
That is what you are supposed to do. The magisterial inquiry is okay.
Yes, sir. Because DM is also a magistrate.
So that point is taken care of. Anything else?
Next, sir, I am unable to.
My last question to you. There is concept of judicial overreach. Sometimes judiciary goes beyond its mandate and does something. So there are certain good judicial overreach and there are certain bad judicial. Can you give an example of one each? One good judicial overreach and one bad judicial.
So one good I can recall is of the pollution level, which government Supreme Court has banned about the various polluting crackers which we used to use. So that was the one. And one bad, I think, according to me, was the banning of liquor within the 100-meter zones.
Thank you.
You are
Yes.
talking about role of government.
Yes.
Do you think there is a case to do away with the post of governor and president? They are not serving the purpose. Only decorative post. Why should Congress spend so much money?
Sir, I believe that there is very much importance of the role of the office of governor and president. The things which come in the news as a common people, that is the controversies which are highlighted. But in the back-to-back, every day-to-day working of the office of the governor and president, it is very much important. For example, especially in the case of parliamentary form of the government, where we have the country which is very much diverse, and when there is a very not effective majority of the government, then the role of office of the governor and president comes to very handy.
Do you think ultimately all the decisions taken by the center or you can say home ministry or the governor only just a postman?
Yes, sir. Partially, I think it is correct because even in the Article 74 of the Constitution, it says the office of the governor should be he should give approval to the government of the day. So that is the broad work of him. But in the crisis situation or in the overall safeguarding the constitutional machinery, for example, the bills which after going from the Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, it is sent to the president for his assent. So he takes the overall view of the bill if it is just according to the laws of the constitution or not. So we need a different body who oversights these bills.
He has to give this consent. He can send it back once.
Yes,
It's
sir.
not something they to have such a large office.
Yes, sir. Definitely, he has to give consent. But there were many instances where when he returned the bills, so there were considerations and the bills were reformed and amended. So in those cases, I think it should be promoted.
Have you heard of this string of months?
Yes, sir.
What is string of pearls?
So, string of pearls theory is a theory propounded by various scholars. It says that the China is creating artificial chain of islands circling the South China Sea, where where it also asserts its sovereign right for navigation and also for exploration. So, sorry, sir, if you permit, I can reframe my answers.
Okay. What is the response of India?
Uh, Sir, India has also taken proactive measures to address the strategic challenges. For example, we have created uh, Golden Diamond,
Golden diamond. What is golden diamond?
uh, Diamond Quadrilateral, if I can remember.
Necklace of
Yes, sir.
Diamond
So
necklace.
okay.
I got a bit confused about the term, sir. But it is the strategic ports which we are developing across the Indian Ocean, so that if conflict arises and among the string of pearls, we can tackle those. So we have developed good relations with countries such as Seychelles. We have a port in Sri Lanka, and we have also developing one port in Bangladesh. So this is called as a countering to string of pearls theory.
Important.
May I interrupt? Why is this called a string and that is called a necklace?
Sir, the reason is that when we see the strategic ports of China, so it is encircling our entire part of India, starting from also from the land and
Is
also
the
in the
circle
seas.
complete?
Yes, sir. Circle is getting completed. Half part is in the ocean and the rest part is in the land.
Which part is in the land?
So, for example, CPEC, which is being created under BRI, is basically to counter the entire to encircle India in a.
Is it actually a circle encircling India?
Yes, sir. What I can recall is encircling. It was encircling India, but I can be wrong, sir.
Carry on.
You will read more. There are certain gaps.
Okay, sir.
Later,
Sorry, sir.
which is the latest country to join NATO?
Sorry, sir. I'm unable to recall right now.
You are not able to go. Okay. Ukraine joined NATO and Russia interaction of NATO. But some other country, namely Russia, has also joined NATO. But Russia did not. I'm here to see reaction. What's the reason?
Sir, as far as I can remember, Ukraine has not yet joined the NATO officially.
Wanted to join.
Yes, sir.
Other country has already joined. It is also a neighbor.
Yes, sir. Sir, I don't remember the name of that country.
I'm telling you, this is also sharing a long border.
Yes, sir.
Finland.
So, yes, sir, Finland. So, can you repeat your question? I am unable to get your question.
They reacted to Ukraine's attempt to join NATO, but they did not react the same way. Other country sharing a long border with Russia, who already joined NATO after the Ukraine war.
Yes, sir.
What was the difference between the two situations? The reaction of Russia was different.
Yes. Sir, the reason, first of all, was the Black Sea is strategically very important for Russia. It cannot compromise NATO's forces in Ukraine because it is the only port which is open in the summers. But as you said that Finland, it has also taken steps like it has created military districts adjoining Finland. But the response was more due to the Ukraine because it was the historical issue. Because we have seen in the earlier Minsk agreement also, Russia has shown its concerns about free navigation of its strategic locations. So Black Sea was more strategically important, and it was the only sea which was open for Russia in winters. So that is more of a strategic concern.
One of our sports team recently visited Pakistan. Or something. Sports team.
Sir, I'm sorry, sir, I'm unable to
One
get
of
it.
our sports team has recently visited Pakistan. Or something. Which team has visited?
So I don't know, sir. Sorry.
Okay, fine, thank you.
Atif, your subject is political science and international relations. What is the strategy of complex interdependence in international relations?
Complex interdependence is a type of theory which says that if a country creates a complex interdependence of economic, military, and people-to-people and other contacts, so it will be difficult for that country to get into war or in a conflict zone with that country. So the complex interdependence which it creates an interdependence not only among the states but also with the people. So the conflict arising, the chances of conflicts are reduced. So it is a liberal theory propounded under its umbrella term.
It's liberal or neoliberal?
Ma'am, I am unable to recall right now, but if I would guess, it is neoliberal.
All right. What strategic paradigm or what theoretical paradigm, ideological paradigm, so to say, does India follow in its international relations?
Ma'am, there is no official declaration of India, but the overall development of India, in terms of first of all in nuclear terms, it says nuclear disarmament and peaceful use of nuclear forces. Next, in the strategic affairs, it portrays democracy as the driving force, as a driving ideology. And in context of conflicts, it says that the conflict should be dealt with negotiations and in the peaceful manner.
Classify each one of these strategies into theoretical paradigms.
Ma'am, if I would have to classify, the nuclear doctrine is more of a realistic ideology, and in terms of democracy, promotion of democracy, it comes under liberal ideology because liberalism is very much linked to democracy. And the third one, ma'am, I would say it is more of a strategic autonomy linked to realism, the present day realism of which was derived from Morgan theory. So these are the theories which I can link.
All right. Why was NAM, which was non-aligned, strategic autonomy, which is also seeking autonomy from any influence, different from each other? How are they different from each other?
Ma'am, strategic or autonomy as a concept can be used at any point of time. For example, right now also India and different countries are using strategic autonomy. But NAM was a specific grouping against. It is not against, but it is different from not aligning with the two blocks politics. For example, the Soviets and the Western politics. So this was not aligning with any bloc politics, but strategic autonomy is a more of an umbrella term. It is not only limited to ideological terms; it can be economic terms also. For example, in the Ukraine war, India showed economic autonomy. So it can be economic, political, anything. So strategic autonomy, according to me, is a more broader term rather than NAM, non-alignment.
What is resource curse and how has India escaped it?
And resource curse is a term which is said that a country or a place which has a resource, but still that it gets revenue out of those resources, but the basic parameters like health, education, and the overall development of that region is not up to the mark which it can have according to the resources it has. In terms of the second question, in terms of India, how it has addressed, ma'am, I can think about my state Jharkhand, which is very much 40% of the mineral resources of India is there in Jharkhand, but still it is very much backward in the parameters such as multidimensional poverty, health, and education. But government is tackling it with increasing the industrialization of the zones. For example, we have Aditpur Industrial Development Zones and also promoting basic social economic parameters. So government is going ahead with this model.
All right. So industrialization alone has helped in escaping the resource curse. There hasn't been any other mechanism employed. Your economy is a very human resource dependent economy. Has that played a role?
Yes, ma'am, definitely we have. First of all, ma'am, industrialization was not the only step taken by the government. Government has also focused on the skill development and the human resource development. For example, we have skilling missions. Then we have also promoted education, especially in primary education and also in the higher technical education. So overall, it was a multi-pronged approach, and one of the steps was industrialization and human development and the promotion of MSMEs. These were the other steps which augmented the other factors.
Okay, moving away from this, what was the major problem with the Women's Reservation Bill, or a political contention that was raised over that bill that was not leading to it going through the parliamentary procedure?
Ma'am, as far as I can recall, that various political parties have said that the reservation which we are giving for the women for general and ST and SC category should be extended also to the OBC categories, so that the equivalent reservation is reflected among other parties also. So that was the main bone of contention in the previous decade, which carry forward in the present discussion also. But government move ahead with only for ST and SC and general reservations.
And why was this step taken?
When the government said it will lead to more of a misuse of reservation for a political purpose, and it will lead to plebiscitization of parliament, and also it has more of a regressive. It will create more of a negative impact rather than creating a positive impact.
Was the idea of reservation within reservation implied in the passing of this bill?
Yes, ma'am. It was incorporated in the category of SCs and STs.
Explain how it was incorporated.
Ma'am, the proportion of reservation which will be given for the overall category, that will be reflected among also in the ST categories. For example, if there are 100 seats, so the equivalent women reservation in the ST categories will also be incorporated.
No, you're just comparing two categories and how reservation is incorporated there. How has reservation within reservation, as you claim it has been incorporated, how has it come to be incorporated within these categories?
Sorry, ma'am, I'm unable to get your question.
The question is reservation within reservations. What is the proportion or what is the mechanism that is being employed in order to ensure that reservation within reservation takes place, it happens?
First of all, ma'am, we have delimitation of the constituencies. So the constituencies are reserved for ST category, and within that we have women specific constituencies. Through that we implement the reservation within reservation, which is also called as horizontal reservation. Yes, sir.
So you are from Jharkhand.
Yes, sir.
Area is known as Chota Nagpur.
Yes, sir.
Why is this called Chota Nagpur?
Sir, there is a language called as Nagpuri language, so which is very much prominent in the plateau region of Ranchi and the Khunti area. So the name is derived from that Nagpuri language is called Chota Nagpur.
Any other?
So
Something.
I can recall about this only.
You have opted PSIR, but your foreign service ranking is a little lower, not matching to your data.
Yes, sir. My service preference is, sir, first of all, I am ready to serve in any of the services, but I have greater temptation for Indian revenue services rather than comparison to other services. So I have opted for in the higher place.
Afghanistan at the moment, we have not recognized its government, and still we are keeping good contacts and everything. Even their team has been allowed to enter into India for matches or something like that. How do you see this kind of policy of India from unrecognized government country?
Sir, I think this policy of India is good and it should be promoted. And think is that I think that the policy is reflected from the learnings of the past. For example, in the past we didn't engage with the military regime of Myanmar, and also in 90s we haven't engaged with Taliban. So we had repercussions. We have seen Pakistan making deep inroads and China making deep inroads in Myanmar. So I think it is the reformation of the policy and engaging with Taliban, because right now the present reality is Taliban is controlling Kabul, and we don't know how long it will be there, and we have strategic interest in Afghanistan. So either way, we have to deal with the situation. Though it is right that we do not acknowledge it officially, but back channel diplomacy is going on and technical cooperation is going on, and I think it is a right step and it should be promoted because we have a strategic interest over there, and we don't want the powers which are against India to flourish over there. To counter them, we need to have some sort of back channel diplomacy. So it is a right step.
Nepal and Sri Lanka, they were very close to China. And later on, they had some different kind of experience. Now it is Mali. How do you see? Will it be in the very near future? It will again came on the lines of Sri Lanka and Nepal to India.
Yes, so the issue of Maldives, especially in background of Sri Lanka and Nepal, I see it is more of a internal political environment changing over there in the Maldives. But and we have, as a foreign policy expert, the government would have definitely calculated this aspect because it was in the pre-election era also. They were pitching for India out campaign, so that would have definitely been in the equation of the India. But to tackle those issues which are internal nature, I think we can go ahead with the people to people contact where we promote developmental and make the people of the Maldives realize that the importance of India rather than the as we highlight the exploitative nature of debt trap diplomacy of China. So I think these messages which we are doing it in a diplomatic level, it should penetrate to the people to people contact level so that the people realize the importance of India, and that will be very much helpful in the long term strategy of India.
You have already been selected in Rural Development Department of Bihar.
Yes, sir.
Manreka and free food or something like that. Don't you think that that is making people not to work and get free?
As far as my experience is concerned, sir, these are the basic necessities, and this does not evade a person from working, not working, because these are the basic thing, and still after that, people have very much necessities of other things. For example, if we are giving only basic food and grains are there, but we need other items also to for the household purposes, and people are not opting out from their job, but it is giving them basic necessity, which is very much required as a welfare state of the nation. So I think this is not the case in the reality. People are still working and they are also getting the benefits of these schemes, and it is very good. Thank you.
Think. You have to tell me whether any particular state is a union or union territory or a state, any region, right? It's a state or a UT. How will you do so? Merely by looking at the list of who's who, the ranks. There can be a chief minister here, there will be a chief minister there. Ministers, secretaries there, here. What is the one thing which you will find different between a state and a UT?
Sir, if I would guess, I think it would be like secretary. It would be secretary to government of India in the case of union.
No. Secretary to Government of India, तो central government में होता है.
So in the offices, I think it is lieutenant governor is in comparison to the governors in the state. Yes.
What is the difference legally?
So the primary difference is lieutenant governor is a representative of union government. And
So is the governor.
No, sir. I think governor is basically there to promote the interest of the state, and though he
Think, then tell me. In both cases, he is appointed under the same article of the Constitution of India, broadly the same article. Both cases, he is an agent of the central government. So, what is the difference in his functioning?
So the difference which I can think about right now is, though they are the agent, but the governor has to act according to the aid and advice of Council of Ministers in the case of states. But that is not mandatory in the case of lieutenant governor. He is just a representative of president.
Both cases, you are using the wrong clause. Right conclusion, wrong reasoning.
Sorry, sir.
Both are representatives of the President of India. But the Lieutenant Governor has executive powers. The buck in all governance matters, the buck stops with the Chief Minister
Okay.
in a state. Here, unless these are delegated specifically under 311 or whatever, not 311, what am I saying here? Whichever article that is. In the case of a union territory, unless it is specifically delegated, all files have to go to LG. He is the executive head. Now, what is the difference between head of state and head of government?
Sir, head of the state is governor, and head of the government is the chief minister.
Here, the head of government is the lieutenant.
Lieutenant government.
Okay?
Okay, sir.
Which brings me to the next question. What is all this nice, beautiful relationship between the governor and chief minister in certain states? Punjab and Kerala. What's going on?
Yes, sir. We have lately we have seen some of the issues in the functioning of the governor. For example, in the Kerala, we have seen issues with respect to stalling of various bills, which were
Define
later.
stalling.
Yes, sir. File stalling and the bill stalling.
Define stalling. What is he doing which amounts to stalling as per Stalin?
Sir, they have not given assent, or they have not rejected the bill, and they have kept the bill pending for a longer duration of time, which was also taken up in the Supreme
So
Court.
is longer justiciable? How long is too long?
So, according to recent Supreme Court judgment, they have said that they have to give assent or reject the bill within 3 months. So,
Was this originally in the scheme of things in the Constitution?
no, sir. Constitution is silent about the duration in which they have to give assent.
The only thing the Supreme Court has really said is that if it is sent back by the Assembly, then the governor has to, which was always there earlier.
Yes, sir.
Now they have given it as a guideline that it should be done in 3 months.
Yes, sir.
They cannot make it into a law. So,
Yes, sir.
right? Anyways, the second important thing. On one hand, the Supreme Court has, in the recent times, several years, liberalized LGBTQ. Some things were illegal. Those sections were scrapped, 377.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, adultery, 498, I think, right?
I'm
Now
not
it's
sure. about this.
consenting. Now it's consenting adults.
Yes, sir.
No, consenting adults.
Yes, sir.
It is not a crime anymore. It's a civil thing,
Yes, sir.
isn't it? So in a way, Supreme Court is trying to make things illegal, make illegal things, hitherto illegal things into part of the new normal.
Yes.
On the other, in a live-in relationship, they are formalizing things and making some things into illegal act.
Yes.
This shall be done, this shall be done. How do you reconcile the two attitudes of conflicting, apparently, attitudes of the courts?
Sir, first of all, we should see that why is it happening. For example, in the Supreme Court cases, they wanted to liberalize the things because the laws were in the terms of binary terms. So, Supreme Court wanted that there are section of the society who do not identify themselves as binary, and they also are the citizens of the India, and they have the liberty to get the right place.
All right, equality, LGBTQ equality as to that I understand.
Yes, sir. And in the cases where we have seen that in the recent Uttarakhand UCC issue,
Come to the adultery part. Two consenting adults having a relationship is not illegal. The policeman cannot say कि आप दोनों putting it bluntly, hotel के कमरे में पकड़े गए हो, it's illegal. Come to the police station. You're both charged.
I think, sir, this should not be done. And
Now it is. Now you and I have to agree with the Supreme Court. It's not illegal anymore.
yes, sir.
The concept is consenting adults.
But I think, sir, there is a concern and a genuine concern with the cases. For example, the child born out of the living relationship, they lose the entitlement.
Correct.
That is a
So
major
it is
concern.
for the sake of the child.
Yes, sir.
That regulation. All right. And
So first of all, then the cases of like breaking apart. So the girl or the spouse doesn't get the required the maintenance or the sort of thing which are given at par with the married couples. So these where there's some of the problems which government try to rectify.
You're trying to tell me that it is not conflicting with each other. It is somehow harmonious with each other.
Yes, sir. There are provisions which are conflicting. For example, registration to a court. So
Yeah.
these are the things which are going against the liberty, and I think we should have a mechanism which dilutes. Means there should be a mechanism which doesn't keeps the individual in the bureaucratic red tapeism, and it should be streamlined. And as I said, the concerns of the child born out of these should be also
Alright.
addressed.
So, all right. Now your interview is formally over. How do you rate yourself?
Sir, first of all, I was a bit confused in some of the questions sir has asked about string of pearls. I misinterpreted in the terms of 9-9. So I should have thought about that properly.
This is string. This is necklace.
Yes, sir. And one of the question ma'am asked, so ma'am was repeatedly focusing on one of the aspects, and I didn't get that part. So I think I can work on that part. And next part, sir, in the constitutional aspect, you and sir has also asked some of the questions related to the office of governors. So I think proper reasoning, I could have given a better reasoning with a logical explanation, which I think
Provided you had
read that.
not spoken so fast.
Okay.
This is what I'm doing.
Okay.
You have a tendency to jump into the answer right after the question ends.
So can I write this?
Up to you. But you can understand what I'm saying. Yes. And you, in any case, you'll be getting the recording. The point is, you have a tendency to speak fast, speak a lot, and immediately after the question ends. Invariably, you are requested to pause, listen to the question, figure out whether the question is about Agra or Taj Mahal or marble.
Yes, sir.
Okay? And focus on that aspect only. And try to keep your answers to 15 to 20 seconds. When you will practice this, then you'll realize that you don't have all the time in the world to give to the board all whatever knowledge you have gained over the years. You'll try to give only that much which is relevant to the question asked.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Only if you pause and focus on the question and think a couple of seconds, you can take permission of the member. Sir, may I take a few seconds? Think. Clarify. Sir, did you mean this or did you mean this? That will make a job much simpler. If you immediately start speaking up, तो thought आता भी नहीं है एकदम से. That is the only thing. You will find that that is a commonality.
Okay.
In all your answers.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're very articulate, very eloquent. All that is good.
Okay, sir.
Anything else?
I think we are-
Not really.
That is the only
Really thing. That's the only thing.
So it is in the third phase. Dates are not yet there.
आपके पास वक्त है उसकी प्रैक्टिस कर लें थोड़ा.
नॉलेज बैंक जितना बड़ा सकता था स्टेट के बारे में, कंट्री के बारे में, that is all.
सर एक और स्पेसिफिक डाउट था मुझे. जब मैं इंग्लिश में कह रहा हूँ तो क्या वो एक्सप्रेस सही से हो पा रहा है या कम्युनिकेशन में कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है?
There is absolutely no bar on your saying if you are not able to express it so well in English. You say, sir, if you permit, may I express it in Hindi? And do it.
Take a permission. That is the point.
Yes.
But that's not an issue with you. You are answering written in the law.
I'm giving you the worst possible scenario.
बढ़िया बोल रहे हो, उस तरफ से मत रहिए, speaking है फलाना.
Avoid longer answering. That is the point. Think before it. What you say. Think for a while. This will certainly reduce your longer answers. That's all. Deaf details is the another point.
DAF, whatever appears in the DAF.
Yes, sir.
Every word can be a potential question,
Yes, sir.
right? That's it.
And other way also, deaf details, if you prepare, your interview can revolve around your deaf also.
Yes, sir.
It is up to you.
Also, I think you need to look at the current strategies in international relations again, the policies that are there in place. There is some confusion that I find, some conceptual overlapping that I see.
Okay.
So go and revisit IR and current events.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank
All
you.
the best.
Thank you, sir.